Donald Trump is an adjudicated rapist, a convicted felon, and a pathological narcissist. He's also the single most unintelligent person to ever serve as president. But at least he laughs, am I right, Bill Maher? The problem with being a pathological narcissist is that there is no such thing as lying for them. What makes them pathological is precisely the manner in which they will fundamentally resist reality at all costs. And when that reality is challenged too much, they go into a rage, just like Trump did after his ABC interview with Terry Moran. It is impossible to watch clips from the interview and think, yes, this is what competent leadership looks like. So I'm going to show clips from that interview and then the rage post Trump put up afterwards. And then you tell me if you think the commander-in-chief still has all his marbles. Now, in this first clip, Trump lies about tourism, which is baffling because, of course, it can be fact-checked in like 5 minutes, but just watch.
Travel is down into the United States from around the world. It feels like there's been reputational damage.
The country's doing great. Well, prices are down,
not the tourism.
Gasoline's down, energy's down, tourism is going to be way up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is way up.
Not now.
Now, Canada, tourism's doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. Wait till you see the real numbers come out in 6 months from now. Wait till you see the numbers.
So there he is, lying like a rug, and then covers it by saying, just wait 6 months. Yes, brilliant. Las Vegas is losing money now. Nashville is sinking now. Waiting 6 months to get better is not a solution. Especially since Goldman Sachs estimates that tens of billions of tourism dollars will be lost this summer, all due to Trump. But if Terry Moran thought he had his hands full on tourism, it was nothing compared to Trump's illegal and unconstitutional actions and his unwillingness to obey the Supreme Court. Watch him say he can do anything because he was elected.
But the court has ordered you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court says what the law is.
Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. It was a unforced error that was made.
Now, the first thing Trump tried to do here was duck. Hey, my lawyers. But Moran catches him. Don't hide behind your lawyers. You're president, and the Supreme Court told you to do something. Do it. That hit home. But still, he ducked it by saying he doesn't have to listen to the Supreme Court because people elected him president. This dimwit fundamentally cannot understand the concept of checks and balances. But Moran really hit him right between the eyes over the photo Trump showed to justify deporting an innocent man.
He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped, Terry. You can't do that.
Moran tells him it's photoshopped, and Trump does not know what to do but to say, you're wrong. Moran tries to hold his feet to the fire, but he fails. And he fails because he doesn't know how to deal with a pathological narcissist. You can see it play out across Moran's face and his tone. I'm dealing with a child here. And he was, or close to it, because he's dealing with a pathological narcissist who then threatens him. Watch.
Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice.
So how do you know that Moran's questions actually got to Trump? By the rage posting he did later. Now, remember, this was an ABC interview, but Trump went out and raged about CBS like he didn't even know the difference. He posted, the case we have against 60 Minutes, CBS, and Paramount is a true winner. They cheated and defrauded the American people at levels never seen before in the political arena. So, okay, now you know for sure that lawyers are telling him he doesn't have a chance. But the post goes on. Kamala Harris, during early voting and immediately before Election Day, was asked a question and gave an answer that was so bad and incompetent that would have cost her many of the votes that she ended up getting. It was a disastrous answer. 60 Minutes and its corporate parents, in order that this not have a negative impact on her, removed and deleted Kamala's entire answer. every word of it and replaced it with a response that she gave later on to an entirely different question. The new answer was not good, but it didn't show gross incompetence, like the one that was removed by 60 Minutes. In other words, 60 Minutes perpetrated a giant fraud against the American people, the Federal Elections Commission, and the Federal Communications System. Despite all the above, and Paramount CBS 60 Minutes admittance to this crime, let's just stop little Donnie right there. CBS did not admit to anything. They may be trying to settle this from corporate greed, but that's just business. But it does raise the question, should we pay attention to something when Trump calls it a fraud? Because after all, this guy's an expert on fraud. Anyway, Trump went on to say, the failing New York Times, which is fake news, both in writing and polling, claims that people said that the case is baseless. They don't mean that. They just have a non-curable case of Trump derangement syndrome, possibly to the point where the Times interjection makes them liable for tortious interference, including in elections, which we are intently studying. The bottom line is that what 60 Minutes and its corporate owners have committed is one of the most egregious illegalities in broadcast history. Wow, more hyperbole. Hard to believe coming from Trump. And not surprisingly, a total lie. And so there it is in all its narcissistic glory. The hyperbole, the fake facts, the grandiose language, they all point to the same thing. Trump is an out-of-control, pathological narcissist. And that's why the media always fail with him. And yet, even though Trump seemed to parry Moran effectively, we know by the rage post that followed, the post insisting he can defeat the media when they oppose him, that the interview got to him, challenged his version of reality, and destabilized him. The way forward is clear. The media has got to keep pushing him, keep confronting him, and not back off. Even so, Moran's struggle with Trump makes clear that the media is not going to save us, folks. The only one that's going to save us is us. And the way we do that is to keep pushing back. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.